Firstly, I'd like to say how honoured I feel to be able to speak to you this evening. The generosity and selflessness of your family and friends provides students here at the University of Glasgow with extremely valuable opportunities by which to learn our professions. For myself in medicine, I was really surprised by how much variation there is between all of us. In class, we often find ourselves having our attention being brought to a particular donor by Dr. MacDonald because of a certain anatomical variation or excellent example of something we've been studying. Dissection is particularly useful for being able to learn the relative sizes and positions of the thoracic and abdominal organs for examination of the cardiovascular, respiratory and gastrointestinal systems in patients. This is something that, as a third-year student, I'm beginning to do regularly, and my time spent in anatomy has helped me to become confident in my examinations of patients, as I am better informed about what to look for and where to look for it. For example, balancing for the kidneys would be very difficult if you hadn't already gained a mental picture of their location and size. Anatomy is a difficult subject to get your head around and can't simply be learnt from a book. Being able to visualise the parts of the body that we're studying is not only interesting, but also a really invaluable learning resource. To be able to diagnose and distinguish conditions that pertain to orthopaedics and neurology, a sound understanding of the musculoskeletal and nervous systems is required. The nerves that innervate the hands and arms run in a network called the brachial plexus. It wasn't until the anatomy classes that I really appreciated their size and the complexity of these nerves, and how even the growth of the apex of the lung can lead to a variety of symptoms, including weakness in the hands and shoulder pain, simply by impacting on these nerves. Furthermore, I am very lucky that the University of Glasgow has the Anatomical Bequeathed programme, as some medical schools in the UK no longer have access to such a fantastic learning resource, and instead use computer simulations. Thanks to the generosity of the donors, however, my colleagues and I can investigate and build up a three-dimensional mental picture of the specific regions of the body we'll be studying for ourselves, and this helps to understand relationships and proximities as we go. For example, the interior of the head and neck is incredibly complex, but it is vital that we have a solid understanding of its anatomy to appreciate neurological conditions such as dementia, stroke, and Parkinson's disease, and the problems patients face with pathology involving the ear, nose and throat, such as oral and pharyngeal malignancy, and the various infective and neurological causes of deafness. Thank you.
Like Clive, I too feel I benefited from studying anatomy. By leaving their bodies to the Anatomical Bequeathed programme, each of the donors has left an invaluable legacy. They have enabled me and my dental colleagues to become proficient in a number of skills that otherwise would have been much harder to acquire. The programme has helped me with numerous aspects of my learning, such as the dental basics, recognising and understanding patient variation, and also with the provision of pain-free dental treatment. To start with, when it comes to the basics in dentistry, such as the checkup, I needed to have a knowledge of the muscles, salivary glands, lymph nodes, and joints in the patient's head. By locating and examining these in the anatomy lab, I have learned to identify issues when they arise in patients. This brings me on to the fact that, like Clive, my experience in anatomy has also taught me to value the diversity between patients. Being able to familiarise myself with the range of normal anatomical landmarks has taught me to always be vigilant and inquisitive, and these are valuable skills that I've already learned. Currently, a key focus of my learning is on the clinical aspects of creating dentures. My anatomical learning has given me a solid understanding of the physiological issues that could mean a patient finds their denture intolerable. I have found it important not only to check that the teeth are appropriate, but also that oral musculature is conducive to retention of the denture. Furthermore, it's important that the different aspects of the denture do not impinge on painful areas, such as the mental foramen in the lower jaw, where a nerve exits to innervate our chin and lower lip. In the anatomy lab, I've been able to examine jaws both with and without teeth, and by doing so, can appreciate this is a particular risk for those without any teeth, because the bone is resorbed, leaving the foramen more vulnerable to compression. Finally, and possibly of most interest to you as dental patients, is that my anatomical learning has been imperative in preparing me to provide local anaesthesia. This is a part of dentistry that has caused issues for many years, and it's one of the reasons why people, including the majority of my family, won't go to the dentist. But hopefully I can change that. The truth is that when administered properly, local anaesthesia should be effective, and as such, pain-free dentistry should be achievable for all of us. Being able to learn where key anatomical landmarks are, such as the temporomandibular joint and the nerves in relation to them are in the lower jaw, has helped me to learn how to deliver what we call block anaesthesia. The knowledge I've gained from studying the anatomy of the jaw helps me to pinpoint the correct location to deliver the anaesthesia optimally and enables me to work on any of the lower teeth in the jaw on the side that is anaesthetised. Being able to learn from the anatomical donors has been pivotal to a solid understanding of what is required in this anaesthesia process. I feel very privileged to have been able to speak to you this evening and tell you a bit about how your loved ones have had a positive influence on my learning. I would also like to say once again how invaluable the Anatomical Bequest Programme is to our continued education, and also look forward to speaking more with you all later. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope Jodie, Clive and I have given you an idea of the huge contribution that the anatomical donors make to healthcare in Scotland. The University of Glasgow, my colleagues and the students are most tremendously grateful to you and your families. In January, I had a bereavement too when my mother died. I lost my father 18 years ago, and both bereavements taught me that we are part of a much larger family. I feel I've been terrifically supported by family, friends and neighbours in my hometown of Dumfries, and also by friends and colleagues here in Glasgow. I hope you too find this same level of support. You are not alone. We are all in this together, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh As we reach the end of our service of Thanksgiving, and at the end of the service, please join us for tea and coffee downstairs in the cafe. And as Vice Principal Professor Dominchik said, this chapel and what we do in this university reflects a whole range of human experience. So, by way of a reflection, or if you are religious, please use these words as a prayer. I'd like to choose to use two short pieces from different sources. One is from the Native American tradition, and it's a funeral oration addressed to a loved one. And the second is a poem written in Scotland, and it's a loved one speaking to those left behind. At the end of these, the choir will sing the Irish lesson, and we'll just rise and go out and downstairs to the cafe. You're still among us. You're still the person that you always were. You're like us in every way, without any deficiency, except that you've lost the power of action. Where is your breath now gone? Breath that until a few days ago was ascending to God. Why are your lips now silent? Lips that were until a few days ago were expressing joy. Why are your feet now motionless? Feet that until recently were swift up in the deer on the mountain. Why are your arms now useless? Arms that could climb the tallest tree and pull the strongest bow. We once admired your body for the grace and agility of its movement, but now it is as still and inert as a rock. But we shall not grieve as if you are lost to us. We shall not mourn as if you no longer loved us. Your soul lives in the country of souls, in the company of all who have died before you. For a short time we shall remain here, and we shall tell our children and our children's children about you. But soon we too shall journey to that country. Prompted by the respect and affection by which we held you on earth, we now render to you this last act of kindness that is within our power. We pray also that when death comes to us, your soul will be ready to receive ours.